Thank you so much. Whoa, we're hot. We're hot. Thank you so much for being with us on a Tuesday night. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo. This is Thank God It's Tuesday. He's Kevin Ricca.
On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm going to need some new underwear after that initial intro, but that's fine. New underwear because I wasn't wearing any, but
That's
let's
true.
get after
Well,
it.
it is Tuesday. It is Tuesday. It's going to be laundry day soon. Want to welcome our good friend Kyle, who's working behind the scenes tonight, and he is doing an awesome job, and he will be adding some amazing value to the show, as you will see. We are missing in action this person who's usually right in this area here, Tim Strachan. He is on vacation, well-deserved. I hope he's taking time out to check us out and enjoying a Tuesday night beverage. I assume that he is. I expect to see him on the board here any moment. He usually is.
Yeah. Don't let it go unnoticed that T's missing and I'm missing underwear. So if he's not here, I'm going to say stuff like that all night. Right?
Well, I think that's only right. Welcome to all of our good friends. Welcome to all of our good friends at Hawks Haven. This is the official Washington football team podcast of Hawks Haven. We appreciate you guys, not just for coming back Tuesday after a weird week last week. We're going to mix those in sometimes. We just have to. I got to make T and Kevin just a little bit uncomfortable. We're going to we'll find other ways to accomplish that goal. We have a cool slate of content for you tonight. We're going to be doing our award predictions show, preseason edition. But before that, we do have, a note or two to cover. Bless you. Oh, cicadas. Cicadas in the air. There's just cicadas everywhere.
I ate one. It's that shrimp allergy.
Be careful. If you have a shrimp allergy, do not eat cicadas.
It's legit. Can't eat them.
Even though when I was watching a show about them preparing cicadas, they were using a shrimp recipe.
Yeah, well, also there's been much debates about that fluid that comes out of the tree. It's we're just going with pee on that one, right?
We're just going with pee. Absolutely, 100%. It's
awesome.
pee. Just
We're
close
fine.
your mouth. Close your mouth, and I will tell you guys who are not living in the area that it is an awesome time to be here with these cicadas. It is all-encompassing. It's life. It changes your life when you're. It's the decibel level.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe it.
It's true.
When they tell you it's going to sound like a jet engine, it's going to have the same decibel level as a jet engine, you're like, no, that's impossible. Little teeny bugs in trees making that kind of noise. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable.
They're the dumbest, softest, stupidest creatures of all time. But it's, I guess, strength in numbers has never been more evident for the species of that lack of mental acumen to survive. Underground for 17 years is exactly where they should be.
It's the story of the Washington Redskins fan base for so many years. We have been strength in numbers. We've been pummeled with the reality of our reality. Just kicked around, left to rot on the side of it. I mean, it's just. But here we are. We've come out of our cocoon or our slumber, and I do feel like in many respects. I mean, because think about it. You add up the Vinny and Bruce years. That's basically I would have been happy to have been living way down underground under a tree.
Did you hear me say mental acumen, dumbest creatures ever invented, should be underground for 17 years?
That was us.
I think this is all my fault that you're heading down this path.
This is the story of our fandom. So we appreciate all you guys for sticking with us through this off season. We are getting a little bit of video and pictures here and there of the guys working out. The camps, OTAs, mini camps, all that stuff.
Mini camp.
I know. I used to. I say this, tell the story every year. When we were kids, there was George Michael, Glenn Brenner, I guess at some point Tim Brandt, but you had your nighttime news, the 5 o'clock news, and they all did their sport, and you would just go from one channel to the other to get the sports segment, and they would have cameras of minicamp, and it was like the greatest thing ever. You got to see Joe Gibbs directing Doug Williams and Jay Schrader and the Hogs and John Riggins, and it was the best. it's still great to see our team wearing our jersey, getting back into it. And it's better now because it's Ron Rivera, and I think that's the one thing I wanted to talk about before we got to our topic of the night is the lack of – I'm not going to use the word drama. The lack of chaos, the lack of distraction, the lack of stupid shit that doesn't matter.
I look forward to talking about that. I just want to say real quick.
Please.
When minicamp was that big of a deal, that's before there was 9 bazillion involuntary workouts and OTAs and whatever the hell else, rookie camp and the rookie tryout and all the post-draft noise. Back then, minicamp was it. It was.
Oh, and they were. By the way,
draft,
they were helmets and pads.
They were helmets and pads.
They cracked each other.
The rookies got to show up and be like, "All right," and if you were ready to go, which you normally weren't back then we got to find out. But
Man,
I do enjoy this conversation about watching Ron Rivera out there with these guys. Like, I mean, just 30 seconds of clips, you understand the respect he commands with a calm voice. And, we all know he can get fired up and get where he has to get a different reaction. But he just wants to do it this way until someone messes up. But he just wants to do it this way. And, I mean, the yes sirs. This is just the complete opposite of anything we're used to.
How about an off-season workout program in which we had a crazy good level of participation that's set to go X amount of weeks. And Ron Rivera gets them out there. He runs them through it. They go to this field. They go to that field. They're doing everything. And all of a sudden he's like, you know what? This went well. We're done.
Yeah.
He slapped an entire week off the whole thing.
Move it up a week.
He's like, get out of here. You guys, you did what I asked. We did what we were supposed to do. We accomplished something. We got where I want to be a week early. Enjoy a week off. I mean, again, that's how you manage professional men who are doing what you ask them to do.
When we sit in these chairs and we have this conversation with this board and just with anyone all across town being diehards of the Washington football team, we are so lucky to have this man. I understand that throughout the course of a 17, 18-week season, whatever the hell we got now, there's going to be times when people are going to give him a hard time and blah, blah, and that's the nature of the beast. I hope everyone feels the same way I do, and you do, and T does. We are so lucky, especially with the situation we were in 5 minutes ago, to be in this situation. We got here quicker than a hiccup somehow, some way, and that's because, as Fitzmagic wrote, Mr. Rivera has been the man, dude. We're so lucky to have this guy.
More on that later in this show. Robert Cohen, James Rainey, Greg Martin, AGH.
What's up, homies?
Rhett. Let's see, E.O. Anderson. I mean, you guys are awesome. Movies did not cost a nickel the last time training camps were a big deal, Greg Martin. But I do understand what you're saying. Cars were 400 horsepower. James Rainey, gone are those days when you could actually afford a 400 horsepower car.
Yeah.
Tonight we're going to go over our predictions, our season winners for the NFL. We're missing T tonight. He's not a big award prediction guy, so we decided this would be a good night to run through them. We encourage your participation. We have some local entrants and some local winners. And by the way, these are things you can bet on legally. And I encourage you to do just that. I mean, you need to be pushing everything into the middle of the table.
Don't take our advice on the gambling portion or the answer.
We're going to put some right answer. Right. The answer key will be coming up on the screen here soon. Get your bookies on the phone. We'll say it. We'll go slowly so you can fill out your sheets as we go.
Tell them KM76 said.
Let's start with the big boy, the granddaddy of them all. And don't put down our answers yet, Kyle. The NFL MVP. Now, the NFL MVP, I think this is the year for my guy, or the guy who I think is going to be the year of this man. And go ahead and throw him up there, Kyle, because I think this is where the rubber meets the road. So Patrick Mahomes, Kevin, there's not a lot of mystery there. He's just plain awesome. He is healthy. He was playing hurt at the end of the last season. He does everything great. He plays for an awesome team with a coach that features him. He has weapons.
An awesome coach, one of the greatest of all time, first ballot Hall of Famers.
Revamped offensive line.
Joe Thuney stolen from the New England Patriots, brought in an offensive guard. Orlando Brown traded from Baltimore. I mean, they needed to rebuild that offensive line. They were in salary cap jail, but somehow they did and wound up keeping. Well, obviously they were keeping Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, but McCole Hardman is my dude, man. And Demarcus Robinson coming back on a one-year deal. Here's the key, Ken. Noah Gray. I've watched this guy for a couple years, tight end down at Duke. He's a poor man's Kelce, but he's not the type of guy that you line up as a blocking guy. If you have him and Kelce, double jeopardy out there with the rest of these knuckleheads they have, it's the year of healthy Pat Mahomes.
And when he's healthy, he's an MVP caliber player, and he's an all-time great. And
let's be fair, though, he just got hurt at the end of last year. It was not
right.
an all-year thing. We're not making any excuses. He finished second to Aaron Rodgers, who threw 48 teeters last year. I mean, you can't really argue with that. So let's talk about your guy, a guy I love the development of last year. He was a bad dude.
13-3. I believe he was right there in the runner-up category for NFL MVP. He was a 37 touchdown guy. Only threw 10 interceptions. It was one more than he threw the year before. He's deadly with his physicality. You know, so he's improved his accuracy. He's improved his ability to be an elite passer. But when he adds the element of the run, which, to be fair, Mahomes can do as well. But Josh Allen, he lowers his shoulder and he runs like a professional running back. His yards per carry, he's in the double-digit yards per carry. He gets away from potential sackers.
When he rolls right, he's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know how you throw across the body. That's just God-given natural arm strength, just core strength. When he rolls right, his accuracy is bizarre. Right-handed quarterbacks typically don't have that amount of heat on the ball.
Yeah,
he's
got a cannon for an arm, and he's figured out how to be accurate with it. His rookie campaign was marked by his ability to overthrow the entire stadium. I mean, he threw it out of the stadium.
Haskins-like numbers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He launched the ball.
Remember that was our comp.
I remember that art comp. It was pretty.
It was completely ridiculous.
It was completely ridiculous. All right, so I got my man Josh Allen winning the MVP. Let's go to our next award. Kyle, what do you got for us? Offensive Player of the Year. Hey, Kyle, can we play some of that music just light in the background, like super light? I think when we're doing awards, a little bit of light music in the background is just
Kyle,
what the doctor ordered.
2 candles and a white tablecloth, please.
Yeah, one of those like candles that has like the checkered stringy cover
hands
on it.
Hands above the table, Ken
Sorry,
Marangolo.
hands above the table. Oh yeah, nice. There we go. All right, and it won't be getting any copyright infringement because we own this music because Kevin played it and recorded it before the show.
Like a boss.
That's what he does. Offensive Player of the Year, who you got, Kevin? Go ahead, Kyle. What do we got?
I think after Kyle puts us up here, you could pretty much have the same conversation.
Yeah, it was easy.
We should have combined those in hindsight.
In hindsight, we should have because it makes a whole lot of sense. We don't need to retread these two. Let's go to the next one.
Kyle, you're still getting paid for that.
That's a full awards pay. Here we go.
2 awards.
Ooh, nice transition. Defensive Player of the Year.
Man.
Greg Martin's got Matthew Stafford as the Offensive Player of the Year, by the way. James Rainey, Julio Jones. Robert Cohen, we're going to come back to your comment because I think you're going to like what's happening next. Go ahead. What do we got?
Do we drop them or do I start talking?
Bam.
Ooh.
Bam. All right, and this is going to play out in other places in our awards prediction. By the way, Myles Garrett is a bad man. He's a bad man. He is
6'4", 270, point guard on the hardwood. 25 years old, Ken. It feels like he's been around forever, and I think it's because we're big high school fans as well as college. He was the number 1 ranked high school prospect heading out of college. Some had him second, some had him first. He's the number 1 draft pick heading into the NFL. And after 4 years, he's looking for the 4th consecutive year of him having double-digit sacks. I love when guys, LeBron James style, get overhyped and live up to it. I think this year having Jadeveon Clowney on the squad opposite him, meaning double jeopardy, frees him up a tad bit, and the ability to have an offense with Odell Beckham coming back that believes in themselves with a quarterback that actually is now league ready. There's going to be teams that have to throw the ball against these cats, and I'm telling you right now that has not been the case for Myles Garrett. I can't wait to see him. And going over and doing some studying, he's got 1 block kick in his career, Ken. Freshman year versus Auburn. You know who scooped it up and took it to the house? DeShazer Everett.
There you go.
I mean, you got to love when these Washington football team guys are making plays even before they get on the field for us. But
just to close that out, I'm a huge proponent, and I'll talk my butt off about the Cleveland Browns defense. If your fantasy league cares at all about defenses, have this defense on your squad. They did draft the kid out of Notre Dame, J.O.K. He's going to play weak side linebacker. He's going to be absolutely destructive. I love their secondary. Troy Hill and Denzel Ward on the outside, Ronnie Harrison, John Johnson III in the back. I don't know.
That's 2 Johnsons right
it's
there.
It's 2
man.
Johnsons, and everyone knows that's twice the Johnson.
It is.
And this defense is going to be benefited by an accomplished and kind of well-oiled machine on offense. They're going to hand the ball to Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. By the way, 2 Johnsons and a Chubb. Are we? Kyle, are you getting all this? This defense is going to be absolutely amazing, and that's what makes Myles Garrett a front runner. For the same reason, I think that's why Chase Young's a front runner for Defensive Player of the Year. And the reason why is that how he impacts the game. I couldn't imagine a guy doing more as a rookie when you watch how he impacted games. I mean, you're talking about a guy who stopped the ball at the goal line, forced fumbles in the red zone, scored touchdowns, got sacks, tackles for loss, was in the right place at the right time, changing directions to get off the field on 3rd down. He showed the ability to change every single game he was in, and now he can couple that with awareness that he just couldn't have had as a rookie. Yeah. I mean, as good as he was and as ready as he was, a year in the league I think makes him an absolute candidate for Defensive Player of the Year.
And he does not come into this season with a nagging hip injury that he dealt with early in camp. He missed a game because of it. We were super worried that he was going to miss a lot more, but no, that's Chase Young, and he's coming in this year healthy. And I appreciate what Coach Rivera did say about his missing of the involuntary
He
workouts.
missed the involuntaries.
He said his plate was full. He was not supposed to be here. That's ball.
I mean, I love it. I love it. But again, and you can talk about him being the beneficiary of an amazing front seven. The offensive coordinators can't just key on Chase Young. We added depth at linebacker. We get Landon Collins back. We sign a really good cornerback who fits what we do.
Yeah, a ton of speed.
On the outside. Right? Speed, physicality, length. When you look at the ability for Montez Sweat, Chase Young, and Jamin Davis in that little triangle, passing lanes are going to be disrupted because those guys can what did we talk about Jordan Hawkins earlier?
Yeah.
Longer than Mr. Fantastic.
Mr. Fantastic.
And just as smooth.
Even smoother, and these are 2 guys on the edge are smoother as well.
That's right.
Don't let their burl let you not look at their athleticism and length, Ken. And they're interchangeable. If there's a better matchup for one of them, who cares? They'll move them. This defense is going to be interchangeable.
And you can't be Defensive Player of the Year. This is why Myles Garrett's a front runner, because their defense is going to be really good. Mm-hmm. Our defense is going to be really good. Therefore, we can promote a player as a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. That's awesome. That's happening. What's next, Kyle? All right, Coach of the Year. Now, let's put him on the screen because I think there's no mystery here. I love both of these guys. Now, I'm the Sean McVay guy, as everyone knows. I think he's great. I love him. I think he's absolutely a candidate every single year because he's an awesome coach. He is next level in terms of game planning. He knows how to put his players in position to succeed. Players respond to him, and his teams win. What else you want?
I'm not going to argue with anything because I did pick him. But what I did is pick him because of what he did this offseason. I mean, I'm just going to say he kept his pimp hand strong. That's his girl. You are attached at the hip with a quarterback when you're a head coach. And they've been to a Super Bowl together. You know, they've lived in the dark for years. Yeah. I mean, they've done this. And out of nowhere, he just sends your ass to Detroit and scoops up a 9 or a 10 because he thought you were a 7. I just think, like, the whole world knows that's what you decide to do.
Yeah.
And if he goes out there and with that ridiculous defense, I mean, you got Jalen Ramsey. Aaron Donald is the nastiest guy on the interior out there. And, you know, you re-sign Floyd. I mean, this offense picks up Deshaun Jackson and Matt Stafford. You know what that means. And I know Deshaun's up there. But as a one-trick pony, he can still fly.
He can still fly.
Straight ahead, he's still got jets. And when you look over there at Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, and Tyler Higbee, this is nasty looking. They might be that prod in Tampa Bay's side in the playoffs.
Rams, Bucks in big-time games late in the year, reminiscent of the Warren Sapp Bucks versus the Kurt Warner Rams. Those days were awesome. I don't think we're going to see any 11-6 contest between these two teams.
No.
But it'll be good. Sean McVay versus Bruce Arians. I think at the time that was Tony Dungy's defense versus Dick Vermeil's offense, right?
Tampa 2 versus the greatest show on turf.
Greatest show on turf. I'm going with Ron Rivera, and I do it because once again, I think we have the ability to put our guy in the conversation because we will have one of the league's top defenses, if not the top defense. That wins games. That gets you to the playoffs. If we win the NFC East again, it's not too soon in this rebuild, which is still going on, for the league to take notice of the job Ron Rivera is doing. They didn't give it to him when he was getting chemotherapy in between TV timeouts, and that's okay. In year 2, if he backs up year 2 with a few more wins, a little bit more convincing defense, which is hard to imagine, but I think that's what's coming. Yeah, I think Ron Rivera, especially given the way he went after this offseason, I got no problem being a homer saying Ron Rivera is a Coach of the Year candidate, and in fact, he just won. Let's call him up. Let's get him on the horn.
Congratulations to you and the
Yes.
entire organization
Thank you.
and the Rivera family.
Oh, it's so good. And, again, Kyle, did we have Ron Rivera on the phone yet for an interview?
I keep looking at Kyle.
We'll get him on the horn. What's next?
Oh, yeah.
What do we got?
There we go. All right.
All right. So
very interesting.
I'll go first because
Go ahead.
Kyle Pitts is, I think he's a generational talent. Matt Ryan is somebody who knows how to throw it to the tight end. They just traded away Julio Jones. There's extra targets to go around. More on that later in this segment. I don't think this is a rookie they're going to let feel his way into the offense. I think they're going to get up and down the field in Atlanta this season through the air, and Kyle Pitts is going to be an absolute disaster for defensive coordinators. I think he's going to stand out. It's going to be a horse race, though, because your guy is I don't think there's a weakness in his game.
No, Kyle Pitts is such a physical specimen. He's one of the top athletes in this draft, and he has superstars stamped all over him. I do think he's got to refine some of his route running techniques, but blah, blah, blah. An athlete of that caliber gets that done in like a week of training camp. That's not even a thing. Jamar Chase is a thing. He sat out last year, and I know this one's for Rhett. He did sit out 2020 and get drafted 5th, so I just wanted to throw that one out there.
Didn't hurt him.
Jamar Chase, the real deal that makes us chuckle a little bit about possible arguments of the past, is the future for him. The last time he played football, Joe Burrow was his quarterback. When that did happen, he won the Biletnikoff. They won the title. He was a unanimous All-American. This dude's a freak of nature. How about these numbers? 84 receptions, 1,780 yards, 20 touchdowns, and a 21.2-yard average. They feel pretty damn comfortable together. They're going to do work together for at least 4 more years, and Ja'Marr Chase is an absolute star.
The board is promoting quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence and Robert Cohen and Greg Martin giving Mac Jones dark horse potential if the Patriots are at all decent, which would be our worst nightmare.
These guys are going to have the ball taken out of their hands for the most part, I believe.
Yep.
Listen, Trevor's going to have some opportunity, but the amount of mistakes early on with these guys, they're not going to great teams. Now, Mac Jones is a different case. That could be a different animal. We all know that. I would be more on the Mac Jones lean, and I'm not a Mac Jones guy, but than the Trevor lean because of obvious growing pains in Jacksonville.
It's Jacksonville.
Right.
It's always raining in Jacksonville.
And these other quarterbacks are young guys, but Mac Jones, go ahead.
Mac Jones is sneaky.
Yeah, he's
and I think
not that sneaky.
Well, Bill
takes
Belichick,
him like 15 minutes to sneak up on you.
I think he's. You talk about Sean McVay and his pimp hand and how he went out and got somebody. I mean, obviously they got Cam Newton to keep the seat warm, but I don't think Bill Belichick is going to wait at all to put Mac Jones on the field because at the end of the day, I think Bill Belichick's going old school and he's going to be a defense-first team and hand the ball off as much as possible. Even though his running backs at this point, I don't know how you're going to get it done with Sony Michel and some of these other guys, but we'll see about Mac Jones because the best thing you could say about his chances of winning is we've done nothing but shit on him on this show for 8 months.
Yeah, but we've also said he's a great player.
He is.
Take a big, gigantic dump on.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Just a cornball winner from Alabama who's surrounded with talent who can't run a 5.7, then you're going to talk some trash.
He's probably going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, why
he's
not?
Probably going to the Hall of Fame.
Because Tom Brady did. The only other goofball that did that out of legit 8 million quarterbacks who said, but what about Tom Brady? But what about Tom Brady? Well, they believe in this one. We will see.
What's next, Kyle? All right, Defensive Rookie of the Year. I think you're going to get some agreement here by everybody. This one might be unanimous. Yep, there it is. I mean, it's the perfect player in the perfect system in a perfect spot. There's other candidates. I understand. They drafted, Micah Parsons is a great player, but he's going to a terrible place. You got corners, Surtain, JC. You got guys who can play ball. There's no dominant defensive tackle in this draft. I don't think there's a dominant safety in this draft. And Ron Rivera played for the 85 Bears as a linebacker. Jack Del Rio is a absolute animal linebacker mentality, and they got together and said, "We want that guy."
Yeah, I had 2 sentences written down. Aside from his dimensions of 6'3.5", 235, which are so exciting at a 4.4. Jamin Davis was born on a military base in Honolulu, Hawaii, into an amazing situation for himself because he was given a college scholarship to Kentucky as a 190-pound linebacker. Those are a dime a dozen. You know that when they come around, those big coaches, and they see 190 pounds, those are dime a dozen. No one gets that offer. Something that he did on this earth earned him the right to get to Kentucky and turn himself into that man. He was just born this spring into the National Football League, into a perfect situation. The front 4 in front of him, the linebackers he's surrounded with, including Del Rio and Rivera, in a military situation, that's all he knows. And Ron Rivera, we know what that deal is. Yep. Wow.
He's going to be put in a position to succeed. It's going to be a back-to-back Defensive Rookie of the Year situation for the Washington football team. You heard it here first. And if you hear anything else in the background, there is a hellacious thunderstorm going on here. But we are perfectly safe. Greg, don't worry. I know you're worried, but don't be worried. James Rainey, it's not going to be okay. It's not going to be a problem. And Greg, it's not going to be a cornerback. There's not going to be a Defensive Rookie of the Year cornerback. I just don't see it happening. Kyle, can we get that awesome closing music from the last show for Kevin for this next batch of awards? I'm gonna play this. This one's going out to Robert Cohen and E.O. Anderson. Maybe we can get it all the way across the pond to the United Kingdom. What do you got? Let's hear it. Let's go with this one, but it's not. It's a little. It's the kind of.
You're really going after Kyle tonight. You know
Oh,
what
yeah,
I mean?
we're a
Like,
team.
You're just giving him the business.
We're a team.
I know.
We'll
Just
start here.
saying.
What's our next one? It's kind of like island music. All right, sack leader.
T-Stracken.
T-Stracken.
NFL.
He misses talking. We miss him tonight. All right, who's on the board? I think this is gonna tie back to our defensive player of the year. I think your defensive player of the year. If you're gonna pick Chase Young and Myles Garrett to be your defensive players of the year, guess what? It's probably because you think they're gonna lead the lead in sacks.
Yeah, ton of sack.
Ton of sack. Let's go to the next one. We talked about these guys already.
Yeah, sorry, Kyle. We could put those sacks away.
Yep. Robert Cohen, can you hear us? Oh, wait. Interception leader. So
Yeah.
I stayed with
The reigning.
the reigning, and I did it because, first of all, I don't even think anyone paid attention to Miami last year. Their defense was secretly amazing. They played. They've drafted so many athletic defensive, stud type players. They are getting it done on defense. Xavier Howard led the league in interceptions last year. I think he's a superstar. I expect everyone to know his name, by midseason this year. I think he is a magnet for the ball. I think quarterbacks are idiots for throwing his way. But I think because of the reason why, you see his name and you're like, who the hell is Xavier Howard? Obviously, we know who it is. I know people on our board know who he is. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's going to be a star. I can't argue with you except for to only tell you this. After everyone watches the show, who the freak is going to throw it Xavier's way? I mean, that's just, everyone
just ruined
knows.
his whole year.
When Ken Marangolo rubber stamps something, then you got to just back up off it and sit your cup down.
Yep.
I went Honey Badger because he's always near that pigskin. I don't know if a safety can possibly win the interception.
In this
deal.
era, they can.
I guess. And he's a bit of a hybrid guy, but he spends a lot of time in the box where he makes a ton of plays. And I think he had like 6 or 7 last year. Whatever it was, I think he was near the top 5, if not in it. And I just love the way this guy plays football. He's always getting ready to take it. Maybe he catches a pass on you, but he's like back in the day, we thought Josh Norman and Peanut Tillman were taking that ball from you. If your guy has the ball, it's as much yours as it is his, and that's how he plays the game. And I love him. I love his nose for it. And great hands. Great hands.
I do think a safety can win it. I think that, if you talk about Greg Martin's idea for attacking this award, it's genius. He said, who plays Daniel Jones the most? That's actually pretty good thinking.
Well, then NFC East.
NFC East.
You guys are going to give me a hard time. I love Fitzmagic.
Yeah.
I'm very happy he's our quarterback. It's a big improvement. He's going to throw some knucklehead picks. That's it. So that's going to happen.
What's up, EO? Welcome to the show. EO, let me know if you can hear any music. It doesn't sound like Robert Cohen can. What's the next word, Kyle? All right, rushing touchdowns. I'm trying to. Oh, actually, yes, we did disagree on this one. What do we got? So, Derrick
J.K.
Henry.
Dobbins.
Here's the deal.
Did he write The Hobbit, or is that?
He wrote The Hobbit in his spare time, and Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
And
I
Harry Potter.
Those two. Yes.
Harry Potter. He wrote Harry Potter, and he starred in it as well.
Wow,
he is. So I thought that. I looked to see last year the Ravens were like 3rd in the league, I think, in rushing touchdowns, behind the Titans, by the way. To be fair, and there's a reason why Derrick Henry is the leader and should be the winner again because he's an unstoppable force of nature. But I think J.K. Dobbins moves into that lead role in Baltimore, and I think that they give him the ball, and he gets a lion's share of those rushing touchdowns for the Ravens, because that's, to me, that's who they are and what they do.
Yeah, but Lamar's going to take too many of them for him to get to 20, I think Henry's.
I think he's got to get. I think the winner gets to 20 for sure.
Well, having Julio Jones out there with A.J. Brown certainly takes someone out of the box, in my estimation. I'm just guessing at pick your poison, though. So we'll see, because if those two get single coverage, it's double jeopardy. Good Lord, did they make a move.
What? Ken, have him a sock? Okay, I got you. I got you guys. All right. And by the way, I'm also talking my book. I have a lot of action on J.K. Dobbins getting this done this year. So I believe it's going to happen, and I'm excited about it. All right. So, by the way, Kyle, we're getting some love from the music. Now, if you switch it up, try to give us that sneaky, jazzy one. We'll try another one. It doesn't. We got. Kevin played and recorded about 17 tracks before this show started. Yeah.
This was my favorite.
This is the one.
Yeah, this was called. I think it was called. Was it Ken's Edible? What is
Ken's Edible.
It was dedicated.
Dedicated.
I dedicated it to.
All right. Edible. What's the next award? We're coming on the home stretch here. We're just breaking it down in the studio.
Are you allowed to say edible?
Yeah, of course.
Good.
Oh, yeah. In 2021. All right, rushing yards. Go ahead and throw it up there. I don't think there was a disagreement here, if I'm not mistaken. This was called Don't Be a Moron. Don't overthink it.
I mean, he rolled this competition last year.
Nobody wants to tackle him.
G's. No one was close.
People are actively trying to make sure they aren't the first person to the ball when he gets it.
I mean, that's the toughest tackle on planet Earth right now.
I feel bad for people who have to. I mean, that is earning your money. That is making a commitment to put your nose somewhere where it's going to get destroyed. He
is a brick shithouse. He runs knees high, and he's a monster of a dude. He wears out NFL defenses in the second half. What's he going to do to a normal man in an Oklahoma drill?
This is, maybe this isn't what ends up happening, maybe, but you'd be a moron to bet against it at this point in time.
That's it.
What's our next one, Kyle? Coming down, I think we're going to get to some flashy. Oh, we're going to stay with it. Okay. Oh, now, okay. Go ahead. Pull this one up, because I do think we have. So, I went with my Offensive Player of the Year MVP, Josh Allen. I think he had a breakout year last year. I think he has a double breakout year this year. And he's comfortable. I don't know any other way to say it. He's comfortable throwing the ball. He's got targets. Stephon Diggs is going to be a huge benefactor, obviously. But at the end of the day, I think Buffalo turns into that team under Josh Allen. But shoot, you'd be hard pressed to bet against your guy.
Well,
no matter where he is.
I know, I guess, but to be fair, I gave this answer over a week ago, and since then I've had a lot of time to think about it. And Ken, I just think any man who has gone from Olivia Munn to NASCAR girl to Plain Jane is obviously losing his mind.
He is. It's going weird.
Like, it's going so weird. He's in the jungle with some actor that got beat up by the wedding guy. He's got a man bun and man boobs and just an average. I'm sorry. I know we're being rude here, but how do you go from Olivia Munn, just Danica Patrick, to, I don't know, girl that lives like 2 doors back and over one? Come on, Aaron Rodgers. Man bun in the jungle with those weird-looking breasts. I fire you. I no longer believe in him. I go back. I got to stick with Pat Mahomes.
All right. Well, We can't change the graphic, though. The graphic is set in stone.
Well, I can't get the picture out of my head of man bun girl from 3 blocks away.
There it is. It's cemented
strange.
in. It is. That's what we're going with. Aaron Rodgers right above the Moob. The Moob line. The Kevin Moob line. There it is. That's the Aaron Rodgers Moob line. It's
How
right
about if I
there.
give
it
it
is.
a little some of that?
Drink it in.
What do you think?
Drink it in, Internet. You love every second
That's out
of it.
there forever.
That
I hope
was
my
for
kids
you,
see
Greg.
that someday.
They
Yours
will.
too.
That will. Everyone's
be
going to see
fair.
it. It's gonna. We're gonna be buried with that video.
Let's send it to T's kids first.
First, these kids get the first copy. They'll be the first to see it. No one's watching.
They've earned it.
Kyle, what's next? All right, passing yards. I do think we had a difference of opinion here. What do we got? I mean, I was this close.
Herb.
My fingers are really close to each other. You can't see, but this close to putting Justin Herbert above Josh Allen for this season. I think he's going to throw it for 1 billion miles. I'm not convinced yet that the Chargers are going to be a high-scoring team necessarily, but I in my mind, I think they're that team that just racks up yards, and I think they do it through the air. Austin Eckler is an amazing pass catcher. I think Mike Williams is going to have a breakout season on the outside. He's due, but at the end of the day, they signed Slater, the big offensive tackle from Northwestern. They're going to keep Justin Herbert upright. They're going to ask him to throw it 40 to 50 times a game. That's what he's going to do, and I think he's going to rack up yards doing it.
And I love his game, but Funny Herb's only a sophomore, Ken.
Yes,
you know
he
what
is.
I'm saying? And I'm a little worried about that. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, McCole Hardman, Demarcus Robinson. I mean, I got to go with my guy. I think this is his year, so that's it.
Yards after the catch in Kansas City is an advantage for everyone. Watch out for Justin Herbert. What do we got next?
We got some wideouts coming.
We got the Fancy Pantsers. Receiving yards. Okay, yeah, actually, I do think. Okay. Oh, by the way, this is a touchback on something we started the segment with. Go ahead.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, I'll talk about my guy first. I think the Julio Jones move out of Atlanta, again, I thought it opened up some touches for Kyle Pitts. It definitely opens up touches for Calvin Ridley. We saw what Calvin Ridley did when Julio Jones was out last season. He was drawing the other team's number one corner. He was still getting open. He has that Terry McLaurin ability that we've seen. Sometimes receivers just know how to create separation. That's Calvin Ridley. He's got a very, very experienced quarterback who's not afraid to put it into tight spaces in Matt Ryan. Man, I just think, again, I don't know how they're going to get into the end zone every single time, but I know that the Atlanta offense is going to move the ball, and Calvin Ridley, man, he's going to absolutely drain it in terms of yards.
DeAndre Hopkins is my favorite. I love him. All right, Steph Diggs is my favorite. I love them all. I love these guys. But DeAndre Hopkins, Ken, he's got 10 Gs, over 10 Gs in 8 years. That's crazy to me. Kyler Murray in year 3 should be coming out firing. Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins in year 2, I look forward to them just racking up the yards. This is a guy who's led the NFL in touchdowns at one point. And right now we're talking about this combination, fighting for their coach's job, I believe, in the final year of his contract.
Sure.
These guys are going to be on fire. This defense has added some firepower with the young guy that we wanted, the linebacker from Utah, Zaven Collins, and J.J. Watt's always an unbelievable addition. But DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray are going to do some serious work out west this fall.
I got no problem with that. What's the next one, Kyle? All right, I'm going to sense a little bit of consistency on this one. I'm guessing. Yeah. So I'm backing up my Calvin Ridley talk. Again, I think they're going to throw at him constantly. I think he's going to be open all the time. I think Matt Ryan's going to force it to him. I think you're talking about 120-plus catches for Calvin Ridley.
So here's my one problem with you and your choices. You've been Josh Allen, Josh Allen, Josh Allen.
I know.
Josh Allen's number one receiver last year, led the NFL in receptions.
By a lot, yeah.
By a handsome amount.
Yep.
and a handsome amount of yardage. I mean, since when is the yardage game won by 119 yards? So if you believe Josh Allen's going to be Josh Allen, it's going to have to be with Steph Diggs. So I think you ruined a partnership there. I think you might have burned a bridge in Buffalo.
I am definitely thinking Stephon Diggs has nothing but amazing, huge success every single year he's on the field.
Best route runner in the game. Yeah. He's unguardable versus zone and man. It does not matter. You got to double team him, and then in that conference, that's you can't get away with it.
When they just like put their heads down and say in the huddle, this one's going to Stephon. It goes to Stephon.
This one's for Stephon.
And he gets it. And they just throw. And it reminds me of when Mark Rippon and Art Monk set the catch record against the Denver Broncos on Monday Night Football when they went into the huddle on like 4 straight plays, and they were like, everyone, this one's going to Art Monk. And he would just run like 8-yard outs every single time. Bam, bam, bam. Everyone knew it was coming, and no one could stop it.
It was like a surgeon performing a minor surgery, and it was with precision, and it took a while, and we knew exactly what they were doing. Everyone in the huddle was like, get it to Art. Hey, what do you want to run, Joe? Get it to Art on
Just don't be in the same area. Just
what's your favorite Art play? Yeah. Anybody. Whose favorite Art play?
Exactly. We're just taking requests now. Yeah, I like most. By the way, most drops. There's a request for most drops this season. Who's going to make the most drops?
Most drops for in the entire NFL.
The entire league.
I feel like we're supposed to know who this is going to be.
Yeah, we are.
Is Josh Doxson still available? I don't think he's signed with anyone.
Maybe CFL.
Farts.
Your choice, Kyle. Your choice on the next song. Anything you want. CeeDee Lamb is being proposed by Greg.
I can't argue. I like it. Any San Diego chicken hex voodoo concoctions on a CeeDee Lamb.
Give us some more categories, Greg. Greg wants to see some more wacky categories. He resisted the show last week. But now he's been sucked in to the wacky categories.
I'm with you.
Now everyone's like, "What are you? You're doing MVP and Offensive Player of the Year? What about whatever?" I mean, you just went from Simpsons and Cheers and Stranger Things, and now you're going to be throwing. Now you're actually giving us like legitimate, real stuff. What do we got? What do we got? Is that one more, Kyle? One more. Finishing it up here with I believe a wide receiver one. Ooh. Now I changed my answer. I had an answer, and I changed my answer.
I'm going to change my answer also. It was a week ago. So.
All right, so I go ahead and put him up. I already changed my answer. You started with Tyreek Hill.
I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it real. I thought I changed it last second. I had Devontae Adams in my brain.
Okay.
I must have changed last second before I said it to you because that's my pick right there.
It's a pretty good pick. He runs away from defenses like he stole something. He's unstoppable. I mean, basically when they have the ball 40 yards out, every pattern he wants to run is going to be won by him because he has 40 yards to beat everybody, and he just does.
It's like Blanchard and Davis. You got Mr. Inside, Mr. Outside, but he can come run a crossing route, and Kelsey can get loose up the field.
Yep.
They are such a tandem, and he just might have one more touchdown than Kelsey.
Yeah, so Kelsey is a popular pick on the board for most receiving touchdowns.
Yeah, I was
tempted to go Kelsey or even Pitts, only because I was thinking tight end, and I was thinking about how are these teams going to score. And then I thought to myself, Julio Jones, his impact in the Tennessee Titans wide receiver room should be pretty significant. It should help A.J. Brown out. If Julio's healthy, they're not going to be able to put everybody on A.J.
So right now, we've predicted the Tennessee Titans to score 1.7 million touchdowns next season because Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown. That's actually true. Ryan Tannehill is about to get paid. By the way,
again.
He needs it because he's just restructured his contract so that they could fit in Julio Jones. I want to say his cap hit next year is $40 million, which in NFL terms means you don't have a job at Tennessee next year.
I mean,
he could be our quarterback next year.
That's Jesus.
Oh, we just did that.
No, we've already done that so many times.
Oh, I'm just saying, right?
But why would he just take that magic 8-ball and put it on top of his head and then let it slowly drive him underground?
Ryan
I just don't
Tannehill
get
is
it.
gonna. He has, I think, $70+ million ish. I check me on that board of cap hit over the next 3 seasons.
Well, your boy A.J. Brown has number 11 and will
yeah.
continue to wear it because he wears it for Julio.
That's
He said to Julio, I wear it for you. You can have it. And Julio said, no, I'm cool. They're letting us do their single-digit numbers.
He's going
I'm
back.
go with the deuce.
I thought he was going to go to 8 for Alabama.
I thought he was going with the deuce. I'm not
Okay.
certain.
We'll
I
see.
know he's not wearing 11.
He's not wearing
A.J.
11.
Brown will wear that until his grave, he posted. So
A.J. Brown is fun to watch.
he is. I
He's
had
a
him last
giant
year, and
of
you
a
know,
man. Yeah,
he-
I know.
He made things fun.
The reason why I picked him also is because he's kind of like that guy when he gets the ball in his hands. He's a monster. I mean, bringing him down is
He's
not.
a freak of nature.
He's
And now they
easy.
have 3 freaks. They're
Three
just
freaks.
freaked out.
They're freaked out.
They're going to play night games because we all know the freaks come
The
out
freaks.
at night.
The nighttime is the right time.
Houdini is going to be there. This team is going to be a lot of fun to watch.
E.O. Anderson, we went with the green spot tonight, brother.
Ooh, and it's spot on.
That's
I
going to
mean,
get the GS of the year. First coach fired, Kevin.
God, can the guy in Philly last the entire season?
Name him. Say his name.
Don't make me. I don't know his name. It was the worst
He's
presser
gone.
I've ever seen. They're a
gone.
dumpster fire. Their whole organization's a mess from top to bottom.
First good, nice.
I feel like
job.
he's got to be.
I'm gonna go with. But just say Philly.
Philly
coach.
mouthwash is out
Philly
of here.
mouthwash. He's gone. The Philly special. He's getting fired mid-season.
That'll be the Philly special. They'll swish him around and spit him out, no problem.
Oh man.
They rub his skull into the curb.
First quarter. We're not going to do first quarterback injured. I don't want to do that. Let's do the best rookie quarterback between Trey Lance, Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones, Justin Fields. Best season statistically.
Statistically. I think Trevor Lawrence plays every snap of every game. I don't know about the rest. I'm going Trevor Lawrence.
So I think it should be Trevor Lawrence, but I'm betting against Jacksonville. I'm putting
they're
money.
awful.
Yeah. So and bad things happen to good people there. So
And bad people, because Urban ain't one of the good ones, I don't believe. I don't know him as a man. but
Sure.
he
Okay.
just-
Fair
every
enough.
time I listen to him talk for more than 5 minutes, I have to go jump in the shower.
that's always been your take.
He's creeped
on
me
him.
out,
yeah,
man.
Yeah.
I think he's just he
So
gives.
I'm buying
he
into
gives
that.
off that.
I'm buying into that, and so I'm going to say my. We didn't say Zach Wilson. I mean, it's hard for me to pick a New York Jets situation, but
That's also very true.
I think I
everything
might-
you've been saying so far, I'd like to put it towards the New York Jets situation as well.
yeah. So
About Jacksonville.
So it should be Zach Wilson. I think it should be Zach Wilson because I think that I like what they've done with their wide receiver. I
Yeah,
think Corey
it's true.
Davis.
It's true.
I think Elijah Moore is a touchdown waiting to happen. And I think that Michael Carter, the running back they drafted, I think he's going to start from day one. I think he's going to have 1,200, 1,300 yards. And again, we're talking about a bad team who's drafted highly over the last few years. They have good talent on defense. They got to put it together. But
Provo to the Big Apple is a big leap.
I still think Justin Fields in Chicago is the right.
That was my other guess. That was
I think I'm going to go with him.
Yeah, if I didn't say Trevor, I was gonna just because there's some dogs out wide in Chicago.
And David Montgomery's there. Allen Robinson's there.
Allen Robinson is the number one guy you'd like to have, I believe, as a rookie.
And guess what? No one's talking about him, but Darnell Mooney is so good. He's so good. He's lightning quick. He had garbage to deal. I mean, every ball that came at him was next to impossible to catch over the last year. remember that I told you Darnell Mooney is going to have a great season this year.
I guess you were watching like WR cam on him at all times because you were like, throw it to him. That's high. That's low.
He had literally garbage to work with, and he's fast. He can catch.
All right.
All right,
Mr.
so
Mooney.
all right, Darnell Mooney is a player to watch. I think we've bored these people with our picks long enough. I mean, I love everything we did. I think we got it. I think we nailed it. Again,
I love
make these
everything
picks.
Kyle did.
Kyle, by the way, destroyed it
I
tonight.
appreciate his availability and his teamwork.
Oh yeah.
My man plays team ball.
Ooh.
Actually, team ball for everyone involved
Yeah.
on this board, and there's got to be. All right, there's got to be one more. Ken, find
Greg
one.
Martin
Find
says the
something
biggest
saucy.
dud of a season for a top player, and that's fair. We're not predicting injuries, which I hate to do and I won't do, but that's a good question. Biggest dud of a season for a top player.
I mean, the first before I even thought was Devontae Adams, but I do believe he'll be extremely successful with anybody. But
Yeah.
that combination is at such a high level, it's really hard to start over from scratch and get back on the same page, unless it still occurs.
So here's when I hear that question, and we just got that question from the board, so this is how it's hitting me. When Le'Veon Bell, I thought Le'Veon Bell should have been better for the Jets when he got there, because he was like unstoppable for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I understand they had a great offensive line, but he had that like stutter, and then he found the hole, and then no one could tackle him for 6 yards.
And you
every
wanted
time.
him to play wide receiver. Remember that?
I did
You
want
had-
him to
you had,
play.
You had a whole lot of plans for.
I did, and his career just about died there. I think Sam Darnold can do okay. I understand. I could be dead wrong on Sam Darnold, but him going to Carolina has me super scared for Christian McCaffrey. So you want to talk about a dud of a season for a top player? Christian McCaffrey's my guy because I just don't know what Sam Darnold is going to do to him. Because I saw what he did for Le'Veon Bell. I thought Le'Veon Bell should have been. He should be an MVP candidate the way he came into that team. I don't know what happened. I mean, Sam Darnold, I know he wasn't fully healthy, but now he goes and he gets another all-world running back who can catch and throw, or who can throw and run. I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, that's
down
why
there.
he went there, because Christian McCaffrey, Bell was a different cat. He was his own kind of guy, and he had to warm up to a defense. As he sat back there, hemming and hawing, he would wear you down. You'd try and figure it out.
Yeah.
And he was getting 30-some-odd carries. As a part-time player, he didn't have the ability to have that patience. He
Part-time
was trying
lever.
to make it all happen at once, and it just kind of never really happened, did it?
Speaking of part-time lovers, Zeke Elliott, another guy. I mean, he's a top player. I don't know where he's gone.
Part-time lover, you said Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, well, you said part-time. You said part-time player. It made me think of part-time lover.
Fair enough. There's
Stevie-
players and there's lovers, and
Without a doubt.
Stevie Nicks will tell you all about it.
Stevie will
All right.
break it down. Most overrated team right now that will be proven so by the end of the season.
San Francisco.
See, I don't agree at all.
You should.
I'm
See
a
how many
buyer.
guys got hurt today at minicamp?
Who did?
Oh, they got like 3 starters went down today.
Who got hurt today?
I
didn't
don't know. Then I just saw right before we went on. It was like same old luck for San Fran. It was no huge names.
Okay.
It was guys that we would know if we were San Fran fans
Okay.
on lines and in defensive backfields and linebacker. They're just they're just too old around the edges. They're a little crispy for me, and Shanahan seems to have that.
He's just prickly.
Yeah, but he has that upside down horseshoe that's about to go around his neck or come out of his ass.
I don't think something great's going to happen to him. I guess let's just put it
That's
that
what
way.
I'm saying. Like, he
But
had
I
a
also
Super
think
Bowl
they're a good
ring
team.
right there, getting ready.
I know.
And it had nothing to do with him,
I know.
and he got mauled for it,
Mauled.
which I can't say I was
know.
mad about.
Listen, he rubbed me the wrong way when he was here. Sorry, he
It's
just
tough
did.
to do.
This
Usually your legs just starts kicking, and then you just
So I'm not gonna like tell tales here, but I don't know that he treated
bullshit.
everyone that
You're
great.
about to start telling tales.
Yeah,
He's a prickly bastard. He's an arrogant prick.
He should have been better to people, I feel like, and he was in a position to do so. I'm just talking about like in his interaction. I don't know. He could be charitable and do great things. I don't know the guy personally, but
he was defending his dad while he was here. I give him that benefit.
Sure.
I only give him crap from his head. And to get a head job and make all this money and have the time of your life and still have the ill will towards us, and we were some terrible, but like to still harbor that and talk all that noise and barely beat us at home, that would have been such a huge W. But
I'm gonna go Tampa Bay. I think they. I know. Are you talking about a team that's overrated? I think the Super Bowl champs today are overrated. Are you going high five? Is that a high five?
Never once in Super Bowl history in modern football, in the Super Bowl era, has the defending champions returned every starter. So these are the same exact.
That's why they're so overrated. They're just overrated. Everyone's just like, oh, these guys just won it all. What could they possibly do this year?
Garbage ass COVID Super Bowl champions.
I don't buy it. I'm not buying it. They're overrated, and they will be proven so.
Instead of trying to find where A-Rod's house is, Tom Brady and Bruce Arians actually get an offseason with everyone that won it all last year to come back at it. I love it. I love your devious scenarios.
So the only thing I care about is that they beat Dallas in week 1. That's all I care about. And I think Dallas sucks.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to think they're a good team if they beat the Cowboys.
Name Dallas's 2 starting safeties.
I did on the show last week, and I can't do it again. It's like Kai Zay.
I had never heard either name. I'm sure I have somewhere along the line, but
they better beat those bastards.
No, Ron Rivera has that number in his right next to where he keeps his dry cleaning stuff. He just needs to pull it out whatever week it is. What Ron Rivera did to the Dallas Cowboys last year, who everyone assumed is where he would go when he became the guy after Carolina. And everyone thought Dallas, 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 and so did Jerry Jones. No, sorry. He didn't want to go there. He wanted to fix something and not have, well, I don't know. I was going to say a prick over his shoulder.
2 Johnsons, a Chubb, and a prick on your shoulder.
Oh,
had it all. We will be back next Tuesday night. We will take a brief hiatus at some point end of June, beginning of July. We'll keep you posted on that, but we are coming back next week to talk about the greatest sports organization this side of the Potomac. Ish. Listen, I picked him to be the coach of the year. He's got the defensive player of the year. I got the defensive player of the year. Top defense in the league. If you're sitting in your homer chair, loving your team, that's the Washington football team today, it is not false optimism. It is not something that we've experienced in the years past. Yes, we are still rebuilding, but guess what? We are capable of winning also right now because of what we have. And that's, to me, that we haven't had a show like this. I've put Redskins on this show before, and it was a joke.
Yeah, I used to slick my hair back like Larry Michaels,
yes.
But who does that anymore after that whole incident?
We can win with one of the best coaches in the year. We can win with the defensive player of the year. We can win with the defensive rookie of the year, and we can win because we are comfortable in our own skin. And at the end of the day, in the NFL, the most important thing in the world is winning your division. That's how you do it. We can win the NFC East. All these things are true. That makes this June a June to remember. We're going to keep remembering it, at least for one more week. Why not?
Christmas in June.
Christmas in June. Thank you so much to Kyle for sticking with us for an hour tonight.
Man.
Above and beyond the Call of Duty. We hope you stay with us. We wish your special lady friend a happy birthday on Saturday. It's still Saturday. By the way, I can't believe you couldn't get that changed. Unbelievable. But it is still Saturday, and we do wish her a very happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Kyle's lady friend.
It's like an episode of The Big Lebowski. That's my special lady friend. Listen, happy birthday.
Hey, we have special ladies too.
We
man.
all have special ladies, but this one's birthday is on Saturday, so happy birthday. And missing person of the year is still Benjamin, but don't worry. Don't call it a comeback, but he'll be coming back very soon.
At Ken's new house, Benjamin's in a prone position.
Yeah,
That's what I've heard from the neighbors.
The chainsaw. We made some adjustments.
Go ahead, do that.
He's Kevin Ricca.
I'm also scared for Benjamin.
There's a lot of fear in this dojo. I'm Ken Marangolo. This was, thank God it's Tuesday. We thank you so much for joining us. Please hit subscribe on that button. Hit
Yes,
that
please.
bell. Get notified when we go live and we post up stuff. We got a big season of sports coming. Don't miss it. Thank you so much for being with us. See you next week.
Love the board.